You know who my next guest is? Mr. Hollywood, Johnny Case, back here on the program. Johnny, how's it going?
It's going great, brother. It's good to be on the show.
Yes, it's been a long time coming. We've been trying to set up an interview for a while. It feels like every time I go to Vegas, I'm like, Johnny, we'll do an interview. We'll play some video games, but it never pans out. So I'm glad to catch up with you here. But first and foremost, I know you're back in Iowa. Why are you back there as opposed to Vegas?
I don't have a fight, obviously, with the 2020 season of PFL being canceled. I don't have a fight. Emily Whitmire, my girlfriend, she has a fight, actually. So I figured it'd just be easier to let her do her camp there and distraction free, and then I'll come back here and be with my family and be with my kids and kind of enjoy some father son time that I don't really get to take full advantage of when I'm in fight camp. So it's been great. It's been great actually being back here and kind of getting back to my roots and enjoying the finer things in life.
Yeah, no, I hear you. Family's important, especially like during COVID-19. When did you actually head back to Iowa? How long have you been there?
So I came back like middle of May, I would say. And then I just went to Vegas this week to get some training in and to see Emily and stuff like that. So I'm kind of going back and forth. But I've been here since like mid-May.
Okay. Any issues traveling back and forth with all the COVID stuff, or has it been pretty easy?
In the beginning, in May, I mean, I bought probably five or six different flights, and they ended up getting canceled. Like, so they'd let you buy the flight, and then as soon as you pay for it, they'd cancel it and give you a voucher and be like, oh, here. So I tried like 6 different airlines and same result. So finally, I said, screw it, I'm just going to drive back, and drove here, and then flying back, and it's pretty much business as usual now, except for you got to wear a mask the whole time. So
yeah, just look like a Mortal Kombat character, no big deal. I'm trying to find one actually. They should make like a Mortal Kombat mask for people that look a little bit more badass out there. I think they should capitalize on that.
Like a Scorpion or Sub-Zero.
Exactly. Exactly. You're totally on my line of thinking there. I like that. In terms of COVID-19, like how has that impacted your training? I know some of the gyms, they're open, but it's with smaller groups. Some gyms you can't even train at all. How have you sort of navigated through that while you were in Vegas and then also in Iowa?
Yeah, so that was really bad in Vegas. I mean, everything shut down unless, I know like Extreme Couture was doing like private sessions if you had a fight, you know what I mean, if you had a fight coming up, but if not, you were just shit out of luck, man. You were just in the park doing pads or, you know what I mean? And I was coaching MMA at Venom, a Venom affiliated gym, Venom training camp. And through COVID, they just decided to change their whole business format. Like they're not even an MMA gym. They're just a checkmat jiu-jitsu Venom sponsored gym now. So, I lost my coaching job there. And, when I came back to Iowa, though, luckily, like everybody was still kind of training here. And I was able to get and there's some good guys back, like Rick Glenn. He's a UFC guy, 145er. Steve Carl was a World Series of Fighting.
That's a name I haven't heard in a while. How's Steve doing?
Steve's doing great, man. He's coaching. He's coaching here in Iowa at a gym called Elite Edge, which is another one of my good friends, Joe Brammer. He was a UFC veteran as well. So it's been good being back here in Iowa. There's actually been some really good guys I've been able to go with and kind of share some knowledge there. But there's nothing like your real gym, you know what I mean? So I was kind of missing it and needed a little trip back for this week and got some really good training in and saw the guys and saw the coaches and kind of just picked up where I left off.
And you mentioned Rick Glenn. I heard he moved back permanently home. Did he do that, or is it just he's just there for I guess for now and then doing his camps at Alpha Male? Do you know?
No, that he told me he's moving. He moved back to Iowa.
Nice. Okay.
And he just had surgery, I believe, on his hip to replace like a torn whatever ligament he had in his hip. And he was looking to get back to fighting here this fall. So I think he said he was going to do the majority of his camps here, but then he would go do like 4 weeks out in Alpha Male or
gotcha.
wherever he was at before.
So pre-COVID, I know the plan was to, I guess, compete for PFL, and you haven't fought since December since you competed in Ryzen. So I guess you were sort of planning to fight sort of, summertime-ish for PFL. Was that the original plan, or were you trying to fight somewhere else?
No, yeah, I was going to stick with the PFL. Like the PFL is where I want to be. You know what I mean? Like the guys are the shit. Ray Cepho is awesome. He trains and coaches at Extreme Couture. So I see him all every day. and from the financial standpoint,
Oh yeah.
like it's the best place you could be. You know what I mean? Like, so that's definitely where I want to be. But yeah, now that like we don't fight for a whole year, it's kind of like that kind of sucks. I go from thinking I'm going to fight for a world title, potentially being a millionaire, and now we have zero income, we have zero fights, we have no chance to win a world title this year. So it was kind of takes the wind out of your sails a little bit, but at the same time, this is kind of the hand we're dealt, and it's on us to make the most of it.
How are you surviving financially, if you don't mind me asking? Because I know, obviously you're saving your money from your fight purses, but, having not fought in so long since December, how are you getting by?
Just pimping and selling drugs, brother. That's about it.
Yeah.
No, I'm really lucky, and I've been able to save a lot. I'm kind of just living on my savings right now.
Gotcha.
Which isn't ideal, but it's
got to do what you got to do, man. Yeah, and I hear you on that. Just gotta make money however you can. So that's good. I mean, I'm glad to see that's all kind of worked out. I know you don't have a fight book, but obviously I know you're training and staying in there, and recovery is so important. It's something we don't really talk about too much. What is sort of your go-to for recovery, whether it's like ice baths or CBD oil or anything like that? Like, what are you using to help you get through even during this time when you don't have a fight coming up?
Yeah, as far as like physically, like things I do, stretching, like chiropractor, body massage, like sports massage. As far as like supplements, I really am a big advocate of CBD. And my new sponsor, Terphouse, has like the best CBD products like on the market right now. Mm-hmm. So like, the best flavor, best like, I had my legs were just jacked up. I just went on like a nice 4-mile run. My calves were all tight and sore and shit. And I just put this CBD balm on them. And I was like, oh my God, this is almost like made up. It's crazy how quick it works. You know what I mean? Like 10 minutes later, I'm walking around like everything's fine. So yeah, I mean, CBD is really big. Ice baths are really big. I don't think cryo works personally.
No, it's funny you say that. I've heard 50-50 from a lot of fighters. I know some fighters are like, stay away from it. Don't use it. It doesn't do the trick. So yeah, I hear you.
Just plunging in the ice bath, not the same. So.
Yeah, no, I hear you on that. So with your PFL contract, because they've postponed the season, are you allowed to take other fights right now, or are you just sort of, do you have to sort of stay put until they get things going again?
Well, that's kind of a gray zone. So we haven't really discussed it, but at the same time, it's like Ray was a fighter as well. You know what I mean? Yeah. So if like he knows I got a family and I have to provide. So I think given the situation, if something would come along and an offer would pop up, I think he would be, would do the honorable thing and say, yeah, go make money. Mm-hmm. But like I said, I don't want to really do anything that's going to jeopardize me from fighting in 2021 with the PFL. Mm-hmm. So if I was going to go fight somewhere, it would be like, 1 fight, 2 fights. But, as the major organizations usually want to sign you for 3 to 4. So, yeah, I don't know. I would love to go back to Asia and go fight, maybe do like a kickboxing fight for Ryzen or, something like that. Like, I think that would be awesome. Submission Underground has a tournament coming up in August. I think that would be fun to get a spot on. So, just kind of doing stuff like that. But as far as like, MMA career, I think we just got to kind of stay put and see what happens,
Well, I was going to say, because Bellator is doing shows now. One Championship is as well. LFA, like I was wondering, like because with LFA or something like that, like they're not going to tie you down with a contract. I would think you could do like a one-off for them and fight. And they seem to go and have shows in the Midwest. So I don't know if that's something that would interest you, just to keep you active and keep you going. I know the pay wouldn't be outstanding, but it still would, sort of keep your bearings going, so to speak.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, and that's kind of where I'm at right now, man. I'm a fighter, and I haven't fought since New Year's Eve. Mm-hmm. So like that kind of part in my mind's like, come on, Johnny, like when are we gonna fight again?
Yeah, because you don't want to miss a whole year. I mean, that does take takes time off of your career, right? So.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely halts the momentum. You know what I mean? And I had such a great year over in Ryzen. I felt like I got so much better this year, and it was because I was consistent. I had 5 fights in a year. You know what I mean? It was just bang, 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 bang from New Year's Eve to New Year's Eve. And that made all the difference, so to have to like fucking pump the brakes a little bit and slow that momentum down. It's like, man, I'm really missing out on my best years,
Yeah, no, it's obviously impacted a lot of fighters, not just yourself, but even ones that are in the UFC. They can't get on cards because they're trying to, sort of backtrack from the rest of it. And I was going to actually ask you about that. Is the UFC still an option for you? Just because it seems like they need fighters to fill up these cards, and I know some just aren't available. Some, there's a lot of different circumstances why certain fighters can't take fights right now. Is that something that's even on the table for you right now?
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, the UFC is always, right now I'm about the money. Whoever's going to pay me the most money, that's where I'm going to be. Mm-hmm. And, I know I belong, I was 4-2 in the UFC. I know I belong in the UFC. I know I belong fighting the best guys in the world. And, I just kind of, the way that I was let go by the UFC kind of fucking rubbed me wrong for a little bit. But, I realize now it's business, and it had nothing to do with me personally. It was just, that's how it is. And, so the fact, I know I still have a lot more fights to win in the UFC, or I could have won, but at the same time, it's like if I never go back there, then I'm cool with that too. And it's like I'm to the point now where it's like I got a product that's selling. Who's going to pay the most for it? Plain simple.
Absolutely. And it's funny you say that, because I'm kind of at that point in my career where it's like, I'm a freelancer now, so I can kind of work for who I want. And I hold all the cards, which is great. I'm not tied down to anything specifically. So I know exactly what you mean. I'm like the media version of what you're going through right now, so to speak. I'm a sort of a free agent, so to speak. But I was going to ask you about that because, obviously the UFC, they're doing the Yas Island thing. I know Vegas is a bit of a gray area right now, but the reason I mentioned the UFC is because you live in Vegas. So it seems like if they needed someone short notice, you'd be their guy, because, again, you fought for them and you have a great record. I would just think that it would be kind of a good fit if you needed to take something short notice.
Yeah, for sure. But I am coming off a loss though, so I kicked that around with my manager Danny Rubenstein, and that's what I said, because I saw some of these guys that the UFC was signing. I'm like, what the fuck are they doing? Like, who are these guys? Like, oh my god. Actually, the last card there was those 3 prospects that made their debuts were fucking tough as shit. And Yuri, I can't pronounce his last name, but Yuri,
Prohaska, yeah.
He was the Ryzen light heavyweight champion.
Yeah, you must have felt pretty good. You're a Ryzen guy now too, so that must have felt kind of like, hey, go Team Ryzen.
Yeah, kind of. Well, I've seen Yuri fight live 2 or 3 times, so I knew he was good. You know what I mean? And I've seen him fight King Mo and CB Dollaway and Brandon Halsey. So I mean, I saw him fight really good guys and just wreck them. So I'm like, I knew he was gonna make a noise, but to do that to the number 7 guy in the world, that was pretty awesome, pretty impressive. But yeah, I mean, seeing some of the guys that the UFC is bringing in, it's like, what the fuck? They must be really hard up for guys, because you know what I mean. I see those guys, I'm like, man, I would wipe the fucking floor with those guys. But hey, business is business, and it's a fight business, so.
No, I like the honesty. I like the assessment on that. Before I let you go, obviously you're getting a little bit of extra time now with COVID, kind of locking stuff down. Any video games you're playing right now, or any other hobbies you're getting into at the moment, just, with the quarantine and everything?
So my boys are really into Fortnite.
Oh, cool. So, okay, nice.
We've been playing. They carry me. We play team co-op kind of things, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm fucking terrible.
I'm terrible at all the new games. That's why I stick with the retro ones. That's because that's where I learned how to build up my skill set. So.
Yeah, for sure. I know I need to get an old gaming system. But
listen, we'll talk after. I'll hook you up, because I've hooked up a few fighters of how to get all the games and stuff. So we'll definitely chat about that after, because they're so easy to play, especially as a dad like yourself. You don't get much time to probably have some alone video game time. But what I like about the retro games, you can get in 20 minutes, and it's not like you have to invest so much time just learning the controls and everything else, like all these new games, right? So
yeah, it's like picking up where you left off, like riding a bike. I'm sure, plus they got all the Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat, all the good ones, Sonic the Hedgehog, all the good ones.
Oh, it's awesome. Actually, our mutual friend, Rodney, I actually hooked him up with one of those systems. I could probably get him to lend it to you or something, just get an idea of it, and then I could tell you how to actually get everything. It's pretty badass.
Yeah, dude, I actually think I think I know what you're talking about. He's got a nice little man cave out in his garage.
Oh yeah, you've probably been to his place. Yeah, he's a great dude. Trains at Extreme with you guys sometimes. So there you go.
He's good. For sure. Yeah, dude, that'd be awesome. You have to send me the link or something where I can order that.
We'll talk. But in the meantime, man, if you got any sponsors, social media, anything like that you want to plug, the floor is yours. We're going to wrap things up here.
Yeah, I just want to say thank you to all my fans for following me and staying with me through all this shit. Thank my sponsor, Terphouse. You guys can follow me on Instagram and on Twitter at Hollywood Case, and then follow my fan page on Facebook, Johnny Hollywood Case. James, thank you for your time today. It was a great interview, and it was great fun to talk to you, brother.